What type of blog do you have?
Food Porn Detroit, we're a company and really started as an Instagram blog, just like anybody else. Really, it's pretty interesting, and the name caught on, and people really loved the idea of what we were doing. We only support independently owned businesses, nothing corporate ever. So at the end of the day, that's what we're about, is promoting for the small guy and making sure that everything is up to par. The service is great, and we're not really, I don't like to say that we are food critics, but I would say that we are more of a food Rolodex, you know? So we can pretty much tell you one of the best dishes that we recommend at each one of these restaurants. Because honestly, everybody that says they're a food critic can't really say you're a food critic without the proper credentials and going to, you know, universities and things like that. So I would say we're the ultimate food Rolodex in Detroit.
How does your blog benefit the restaurants?
We just want to bring a closer relationship between the people and the restaurant owners, because you have a lot of these restaurant owners nowadays. They all want to sit there and be able to do what McDonald's and Burger King have, that level of exposure, but they, a lot of them don't have the dollar amount to do that.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is put it out there at a little bit more reasonable rate to where they can, get that same exposure and some. I mean, a lot of people like to go to a certain restaurant and they actually like to know who the owner is.
Right.
They like to know where he's from,
right,
what he's about. It puts a little more of that personal touch on certain
right,
dishes that come out, and that's one thing that me and Gus have really noticed that people are all about is, oh wow, we saw this certain dish, that's cool. And then they start asking us, well, what's the place about? What's the owner about?
And a lot of what we do too is we could just walk into a restaurant, right? Like, well, I've done it before. I walked into a restaurant and I came up with a dish myself that I just wanted to try out. I took some ingredients off the menu and I just said, hey, put this together for me. Next thing you know, they put it together, pop it on Instagram, and they get like 30 or 40 calls from people saying, hey, 30 or 40 of your Instagram followers just came in and specifically asked for whatever you just made. And then they put it on their menu, and we try to stamp it with Food Porn Detroit and try to make real items and for restaurants. And that's kind of a niche thing that we've been learning about. So
yeah, I definitely like trying new places, and I don't necessarily like going to chain restaurants or anything like that, but you get in the habit of going to the same ones over and over once you do find the ones that you like. So it's nice for you guys to get exposure to different ones for people like me who already maybe do know a little bit more about the food scene and are aware that there are other restaurants like that out there, but don't necessarily know which ones to try next.
exactly.
What's next for Food Porn Detroit in the future?
At the end of the day, Food Porn Detroit is an Instagram blog as of right now, but it's a brand that's really growing, and we have lots of huge things in the future that we plan on doing. foodjunky.com is in the midst of launching very soon, and that's going to be a restaurant marketing thing for restaurants to be able to market with us. And what's going to separate us from a Groupon or a Yelp is that we're actually going to be doing events at the restaurant, at least 2 events a month, give or take.
Yeah.
So like Groupon doesn't do that, Yelp is not going to throw a specific event unless you pay them extra, With us, it's going to be a real light fee, and we're going to be able to throw in all that with that as well,
Awesome.
And that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah.